And we're the Cousins Weird. And we are just together, I guess.
We're together.
And we've had a week with lots of snow.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Today
we said that last time.
Yesterday it was like 20 below, and today it's like 30. There's a 50-degree difference between yesterday and today. And
it's raining today.
It's raining, and it's starting to freeze on because that's our life.
Yes. And we're drinking out of Golden Girls cups Margaret got for Christmas.
My sister, Jessica, got me Christmas Golden Girls cups, and there's 4 cups in the set, and each one has a different Golden Girl on it. And I'm rocking Sophia today.
Oh, I get why you're watching Sophia today.
Yes.
It has something to do with
the topic.
Topic we're doing.
Yes.
I'm Rose, because,
I needed Sophia.
We gotta honor
Normally I would be
Betty.
Rose, honestly, because I like all of them, but I've always felt Rose's kindred spirit to me.
See, I think I'm Dorothy. I think I'm Dorothy, because I can be sarcastic.
I always want to be Dorothy, or Sophia.
You know what? When I was younger, I would never want to be Dorothy. Remember, we used to make fun of her clothes?
Mm-hmm.
And, I have such an appreciation for Dorothy as I got older. About the way she reacts to things, how funny she is, how much shade she throws at people. She's hysterical.
She's the queen of shade.
She's so good. And, they're all amazing. But I didn't appreciate Dorothy when I was younger like I do as I got older. I'm like, okay, yeah, Dorothy.
I never thought that I was as smart as Rose. Not to be mean, but the character of Rose is not supposed to be a very smart person.
No.
But she's naive, but sweet, and I always felt like a kid to her. I always liked Rose.
Yeah, I think I'm the smartest person in my friends group of all time, so that's why I'm... No, that's a joke. I don't think
I would agree with that, because Colleen went to Catholic school, and her homework was insane. I'm 2 grades ahead of her, even though we're only about a year and a half apart because of when our birthdays fall. And I would see, she was 2 grades ahead of me, and her projects and reports that she had to do, I was like, I don't have to do that shit. And I'm a
get you ready
senior.
for stuff, at least, I guess.
They're getting you ready for Ivy League school, I think.
Yeah, because there's so many Ivy League graduates.
Oh, yeah.
What was I going to say? I can't say things right, and I can't spell really well. So I guess I don't know if that's a sign of being not intelligent or not. But
I'm the opposite. I want, before the thing starts, I'm typing in words and make sure I'm pronouncing them correctly, because that's kind of I want to spell things correctly. I don't want to pronounce things correctly. So even in my retail days, I would ask somebody, how do you say your name, just so I didn't say it wrong and offend them.
Well, when it comes to names and things, I never want to say a name wrong, and I always make sure if I'm talking to the person or whatever. But anything else, sometimes I literally can't say it. It's not that I know in my head how to say it, but when I go to say it out of my mouth, it doesn't come out the way I'm thinking it.
That's why you gotta love Google now. You can type anything to Google, tell you how to say it.
Yeah, but I don't think my tongue can do it. I lost that somewhere along the way. I don't have the ability to. There's a disconnect between my mouth and my brain. That's my excuse anyway. I'm going to stick with it. That's why I don't say words right. But anyway.
Did you buy those underwear I recommended last week?
Not yet.
Yeah, they're on sale again.
I have to get them. I haven't bought them yet. I've been taking Golly's apple cider gummies. And I had the
ashwagandha.
That. See, I can't say things. Ashwagandha. And I had those gummies. And they really made a huge difference for me. And I have been without them. Because of Christmas and stuff, I just didn't reorder it. And I've been out without for 2 weeks now. And my tummy is a disaster. And I really think it's because of it was helping my gut.
Ashwagandha is stress relief, though.
No, I'm talking about the apple cider.
Yeah, I would see that.
However, they had a big sale, and I bought all 4. They have a super greens, a super something else.
Was it a specific brand?
Golly.
Golly?
The gummies. So, I see them advertised on, different people are doing it, whatever. But it really did make a difference for my stomach, the apple cider vinegar. And the other one...
Ashwagandha is awesome.
Calming, stressing, and it also does stuff to your libido.
Yes.
And it really does do stuff. Let me just say that it does work.
Ayurvedic, baby.
And I got the other 2. But I did put in our link tree if you want to try the gummies, that 10% link, so people can try them for 10%.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it really did. The apple cider really did make a difference because my tummy's a mess. A mess. And they're coming and they're been shipped. So thank God.
Yes, probiotics too. Those are good too.
One of the ones I'm getting has probiotics, and the other one has collagen in it. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
So.
good for the skin.
Yeah,
for the
and they have a big
joints.
sale right now, so you should go order it off, but use our referral link.
Please, so we get credit for it.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely. All right, so today's episode, I had in my mind I was gonna do something else, and then I just was not feeling it. You know what I mean? I just was I don't know. I just wanna I wanna do the Lady Di, but not Lady Diana, Lady Dai. She was Chinese.
Oh.
But I'm not doing her today because I want to get the book and do deep dive and really do it because it's
a big one.
It's a big one for me, yeah. So I just was kind of farting around on YouTube and watching different videos, and I kind of I discovered a mummy, and then from the mummy I discovered it kind of snowballed into a whole thing.
Right.
So it's, even though it was supposed to be about the most beautiful mummy in the world,
okay,
it's starting before that.
Okay.
Picture It Sicily, 1534. This is why I had to have the Sophia Cup today, because
fantastic.
Yes.
What year was that again?
1534.
Okay, before Sophia's time.
Way before. But
it's fantastic.
I did all this research, and at the end I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally gonna channel Sophia today.
Picture it.
Picture It Sicily. A beautiful... No, I'm just kidding.
A beautiful young woman.
The Capuchin friars were established at the Church of Santa Maria della Pace.
So Italian.
Yes, Sicilian. In Palermo, Sicily. And they were originally established... They were a sect of the Franciscan monks.
Okay.
They were St. Francis of Assisi, those ones.
My favorite saint.
Yes. Yep. And they were established originally in 1525, and then by 1534, they were established at this church. They had their own little church here at the Santa Maria della Pace.
That's so fun!
It is. I want to say it
you gotta use your hands.
Originally, they had just a simple cemetery that was, they say cemetery, but it was really a crypt that was dug underneath the church, where the altar is.
Okay.
Right, under the altar of Saint Anne, but they were buried. It was basically a mass grave,
like a catacomb kind of thing.
It wasn't even a catacomb. Okay. It was. They said how they described it, and I got most of this research from the Palermo Catacombs, the Capuchin Catacombs website.
Okay, cool.
And it's definitely translated from Italian because some of the sentences were a little hard. So a lot of this information, I had no idea about this. It's so totally something new for me, and it was so cool to read about. And I
love when you find stuff.
Yeah, and especially I got most of the information I got from them directly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's right from the horse's mouth.
Yes. The Sicilian horse's mouth.
Yes.
They described it as a tank that opened up, and they just put the monks and buried them. It was basically a big mass grave, and they just would.
There was a little hole, and they just
and
they put the lid back on it.
Yes,
you're good.
Basically, they opened it and
like a big porta potty. Sorry.
That's just how they described it, and that's what I'm picturing. I'm this
porta potty.
Terrible. Sounds terrible for their, how they treat their dead. Mm-hmm. And by 1597, they ran out of room. So there wasn't any more room in this.
Shitter's full.
The shitter was full. Yeah.
I'm full of it today.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So they started excavations to make a new, larger cemetery behind the altar in 1597. There were pre-existing caves already in this area, and this is basically they're making what would become catacombs.
Okay.
But they're originally the idea was just to make a cemetery, basically another mass grave, probably. And so they started excavating out these caves, and 2 years later, it was finished. They decided they were going to transfer all the the previously deceased monks from the original cemetery to the new cemetery. I mean, and some of these are 1534 to 1597.
There's just a bunch of people stacked on top of each other.
Basically,
they're all probably intermingled parts.
Well, yeah. And it is said that when exhumed, 45 of the friars had been naturally mummified and were even recognizable when they went to dig them up. Like, there's like, wait.
They're just naturally mummified.
And of course, it's 1597.
Yeah.
So this was undoubtedly an act of God.
Well, yeah, because they've never seen such a thing.
Right. To the friars. And they decided not to rebury them, but instead treated them as holy relics and propped them up in niches along the walls of the first corridor of the cemetery, creating a catacomb. So it's like, we can't bury them. We have to display them.
Good.
And so they basically took these mummified bodies and propped them up on the wall.
Well, yeah, I guess if you...
wired them up.
Yeah.
So they're just there.
I wonder if they could make them like puppets.
I think they're pretty stiff.
It's probably stiff, yeah.
They're pretty dried out.
Yeah.
They're
hard.
They're jerky.
Jerky.
At this point. Yes. Stiff, stinky jerky. The first body displayed was that of Friar Silvestro di Gubbio.
Oh.
And he had a sign. They put a little sign in front of them that displayed the date of the 16th of October, 1599.
That's when he died. I'm assuming.
That's when...
He got put there?
Yes.
Okay.
That's when they were discovered as this holy thing.
Okay, but wait a minute. How do they know... Wait. How do they know who's who when they're all get shoved in there? I have no
idea.
They just... Maybe what he had on
I don't know. I don't know if they could tell who it was.
Oh, because it was so preserved.
Yes.
Oh. Jerky face you could recognize.
I mean, since then, a lot of these original, they are not recognizable now just because of natural. Well, now that they're not in their original space, where they were to break down. I mean, we're talking 500 years ago.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are not looking so good now. I'm sure they didn't look so good then.
They couldn't have.
No. Okay. So in 1783, we're hopping forward.
Okay.
So now they're trying to make them mummified.
Oh, okay.
So like they found these mummies. It's like, well, what can we do to do this?
Continue this
for all the friars. So I mean, they developed their own methods of preservation at this point. Let's see. Natural mummification. I'm going to go through the different types of mummification that were used here.
Okay.
There is natural mummification, which would basically be dehydration.
Like
so,
turkey.
The bodies were placed in a room called a colatoio.
Okay.
Colatoio.
Oio.
And that was basically a place that had dry air, low humidity. You know, they were placed in this colatoio.
Okay.
Colatoio. That's
Colatoio.
Colatoio. And their internal organs are removed and replaced with straw and bay leaves, because they gotta smell nice.
Mm-hmm.
Bay leaf, like they're making soup.
Who finds the leaf has to wash the dishes.
They would then be placed face up on grids made of terracotta tubes.
Okay.
So basically they'd make these tubes where they're laying on, like they were open. And that basically allowed the body to drain.
So the tubes were like the open spot was touching them.
It's like a grid. It looked like a grid, but they were like terracotta tubes.
And they're just draining out the sludge from your body.
Basically, yeah. But I mean, it was so dry that it was just to keep airflow, I think,
around
that
makes sense, yeah. Or you get mushy parts.
So it's like for drainage and desiccation.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. The colatoio would then be closed up for a year. So they would prepare the body in this room.
Oh, and then
they would close it up. They'd seal it for a year. And then after that, the body would be exposed to the air, washed with vinegar, and dressed.
Okay.
For display. So this is how they